Welcome you all to this video lecture. I am T. Thankam, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics from Rohini College of Engineering and Technology. I am handling the subject Physics for Information Science with the subject code PH8252. In this video lecture, I am going to discuss about the Hall effect and the experimental verification for this Hall effect, which comes under Unit 2, Course Outcome. After successful completion of this course, the students will be able to explain the Hall effect and its experiment to find out the Hall coefficient. So to study about this, first you should know the statement for this Hall effect. So for that, let us consider this diagram. So in this diagram, we have a box. This box is a semiconducting material. You can consider either N-type semiconductor or P-type semiconductor. So here in this semiconductor, we have three axes. One is x-axis, another one is y-axis, and the next one is z-axis. Along the x-axis, there is a flow of current. So from left to right, so that is along the x-axis, we have a current flow. Then along the z-axis, I am going to apply magnetic field. If you consider this x and z axis, both are perpendicular to each other because it is a cubical box. So all the angles are 90 degree between the axes. So between x and z axis we have 90 degree. So they are perpendicular to each other. So we are applying magnetic field which is perpendicular to the current, because the magnetic field is applied along the z-axis and the current is applied along the x-axis. Now, when we are doing like this, some voltage will be produced along the y-axis. So, if you consider this y-axis is perpendicular to both x and z. So, in this explanation, on the y-axis we have Hall voltage or a voltage, and on x-axis we have a current, and in the z-axis we are applying a magnetic field. So if you consider this voltage, it is perpendicular to both z, that is in magnetic field as well as current. So this effect is called Hall effect. So I can read this: when a magnetic field is applied, that is in the z-axis, perpendicular to a current that is carrying in a conductor, what will happen there? A voltage or a potential difference is developed inside the conductor, and it is in a direction perpendicular to both current and magnetic field. So this is about the Hall effect. Next, the Hall coefficient can be found by using this Hall effect. So we can use either N-type semiconductor or P-type semiconductor. If you are using an N-type semiconductor, then the Hall coefficient, it is denoted by RH and it is given by the formula -1 by Ne. Here N is called carrier concentration, that means electron density, because for N-type the carrier is electron. So N is the carrier concentration or density of electron, and E is the charge of electron. In this we are using a minus sign because the charge of electron is negative. Just like that, if you are using a P-type semiconductor, then the Hall coefficient RH can be written as +1 by Pe, because it is a P-type semiconductor, we are using plus sign, and here we have Pe. This P is called carrier concentration, that is the number of holes in a P-type semiconductor, and E is the charge of electron. We can write this Hall coefficient in terms of Hall voltage, because when a magnetic field is applied to a current carrying conductor, some voltage will be developed, and that voltage is called Hall voltage, and that Hall voltage is denoted by the symbol VH, which is given in this expression, that is shown in this formula, that is RH is equal to VH. Then we have a symbol B, This B is called breadth of the semiconductor, and we have Ix. I is the representation for current. So current is flowing along the x-axis, so we are using x, suffix x. So the current value is Ix, and magnetic field is denoted by the symbol B. So this is the general expression for Hall coefficient. So it's a very important expression. Next we can move on to the next topic, that is experimental determination of Hall coefficient by using this Hall effect. For this you are considering the same rectangular specimen. So that is shown in this diagram, and we have to give current along the x-axis. For applying or producing current along the x-axis, this specimen is connected with the battery. So that is shown in this diagram. We have a battery, and nearer to the battery we have a milliammeter, MA is millimeter. This millimeter is used to measure the current value, and we have a rheostat for adjusting the value of current. So now the current is flowing along the x-axis. According to Hall effect, we have a current along x-axis. Next what we have to do, we are going to apply a magnetic field that should be along the z-axis. So we are keeping this specimen in between the magnetic pole. So when you are keeping in between the magnetic pole, some magnetic field will be produced, that is produced along the z-axis. So when a magnetic field is applied perpendicular to the current, what will be developed? Some voltage will be developed along the y-axis. So to measure the voltage, in this diagram we have one symbol VH. That VH is called voltmeter. Here this voltmeter is used to measure the voltage that is developed inside the semiconductor due to Hall effect. Then by using this Hall voltage VH and the current value Ix, we can find the Hall coefficient by using the formula RH is equal to VHB divided by Ix into B. Here VH can be measured by using the voltmeter, and breadth of the specimen can be measured by using scale, and Ix is the current that can be measured by using this millimeter, and the magnetic field you are applying, that also known. So by using this formula we can find the Hall coefficient experimentally. Thank you.